everything was politicized, highly politicized, and he was trying to settle some scores in some respects, and then in the long run, he started derailing away from the notion of feeding the country, making sure that we are self-sufficient in agricultural production, making sure that we don't import rice in the country because that's the staple food in the country. So these were all ideas or innovative suggestions that we had in agriculture. But then, as time went by, because he needed the machinery, he needed funds, to implement some of these ideas. And personally, he was bankrolling them, from his own, initiative corpus, to an extent that the Jahali Contract project, which was conceived in the 1980s, as kind of a smallholder rice project to help those settler communities, neighboring communities in the village of Pajar and Jahali and other villages within the Lower Fladu West district. So, in a nutshell, what he lacked in terms of implementing the food self-sufficiency drive was the mechanism, how to drive, to make sure that we make optimal use of the area, not only trying to get tractors or trying to pump in money into it. So the political aspect of it was more or less driven, driving the whole scheme of food self-sufficiency. So, he pegged 2016 as the year that the Gambia was not going to import rice. It became a failed dream. Unfortunately, 2016 was the year that Gambia sent in packet, and when during the elections, he lost the elections. It was September. So, in a nutshell, eat what we go and go what we eat. These are all concepts. If you refer to the African revolutionaries, the likes of Thomas Sankara, in Burkina Faso in the 80s, this was his maxim. This was the main driver of the Burkina Faso revolution. He wanted to copy those philosophies by bringing it into the Gambian equation. If you also go back to history, you look at the United Nations Food IPAD program. These are all initiatives that have been out in the pipe in the scheme of activities. So Jame, in other words, was very good in importing ideas into the country, but political theories or political how to call it initiatives, they are always something that he wanted to put at the back of his mind, so that in as much as he wanted to bring these ideas, but he also wanted to make sure that he used the political card to settle some scores and to make sure that he garners some support from that. Because if you tell the local people that you are not going to import rice, you are going to depend on your labor, to make sure that rice production, a bag of rice is, let's say, take at 300 dollars or 500 dollars. Actually, that becomes something that the farmer, in the lower river region or in the upper river region or in TRR would be happy, and it would be like music, in front of them. So that is my take as far as the eat what we go and grow what we eat philosophy is concerned.
So thank you so much. Thank you for that, Mr. Baldeh. As you know, like when it comes to agriculture, I'm pretty sure Jammeh made some effort, but it never really materialized, like you guys were saying. But we know definitely it is important that we focus heavily on our agriculture, because first there are certain things that agriculture is doing now. I mean, we a lack of cultivating what we eat is causing us. First, medically, we are paying a heavy price. You guys know that some of the food imported, they are spoiled on the way, or they are expired, or some of them are not. They are secondary food that are not probably consumed in the West here. So we need to put our focus on that. And there's nothing better than cultivating fresh food, health-wise, right? That are not affected by pesticides, that haven't been grown up on polluted soil, to consume that That alone provides a lot of health. As you know, when we were all growing up, we were all drinking herbs from from plants. We never actually been to hospitals because rarely you can even get sick, no matter how the situations were. So eating, I mean, like having to consume such products actually help us to become healthy up to today. Now, these second-hand products, especially rice, when you look at the rice imported to the Gambia, some of them have stones in it. Because I experienced that when I was there, even you are eating rice, you biting stones. I'm like, what's going on? Nobody knows where these are coming from. There might be expired products. They might change the dates on them. So all this, we have been experiencing all this because we turn our back to against agriculture. We have just been focusing on coming to the combo area, like living a lifestyle whereby we're gonna be like everybody's struggling, going to the market selling these things, but nobody's in base. There's no way that the government is encouraging the citizens to focus on cultivation. There's no incentive. If the government is producing like tractors or kind of like incentive equipments, donkey carts, whatever kind of incentive that will help these poor people, more people will go there. And then also if they can raise the value in terms of revenue, like if you cultivate this amount of thing, your products will be sold, x amount of dollar, that will encourage people. But again, we have misplaced priority when it comes to the way we govern our country, and we also neglected something that is even helping us health wise, because I grew up from the village and I know how things were when I was there. So agriculture is something that really is important, and then that the solutions are stuff, some of the things that we want to talk about here, what can be done on our side as citizens and also on the side of the government. So I know you guys have elaborated some of the key points,
Okay.
but I just want our viewers to understand what is it that we need to do to improve this area. You want to come in, Mr. Balde?
Yes. Well, we by now, one would have expected President Barrow to make good on his pledges or his promises with regard to agricultural production, with regard to the main area that is where which is often referred to as the country's breadbasket, that's the Central River region. By now, we would have expected the Chinese to be in Jahali Pacha, where Jammeh had hijacked, you know, um, and used um, the Vision 2016, so-called Vision 2016, food self-sufficiency drive, to make sure that it was actualized. But Barrow, during his first year, that is his dialogue with the people, to went to the Jahal Pachal project. He met with the coordinator of the project, the leftover of the Vision 2016 scheme, and promised that he was going to take it up with the Chinese, because at least Barrow had a goodwill, from the international community in terms of support, in terms of funding, and in terms of acceptability, because he was seen as the breakaway from the past, like seen as the new man, the savior, the one who had the democratic credentials, who enjoyed popular support from the Gambian community. So by now, we would have expected the pledges, some of these international partners, to pump in money to make sure that the Jahali Pacha project, optimal use of the project, in terms of making sure that mechanization, in terms of looking at the structures, in terms of looking at what can be done to better the lot of that community, and in turn make sure that rice production becomes history in the country. But things are slow, and it's now 3 years. Nothing meaningful for me, in my opinion, has really taken place in that area. Apart from one project, I don't know, the Mario Farms or what, I've been seeing it on social media, that they have this back to the land initiative, and they are now selling rice, on a small scale, so to speak. You know, the idea was, in Jammeh's own estimation, was for the bag of rice to be like reduced, to a level of like $300 or $500, and for barrel, one would have expected by now, something bigger would have been in the pipeline, but I mean that is not happening as we speak. I stand to be corrected.
Okay. All right. So that sounds good. Do you have anything to add to that, Habib?
Yeah, okay, like the first obstacle that we may face, like with this idea, it started by the Jaiteh Commission by selling those tractors is an obstacle that we might face. Okay, but how best are we coming again to see agriculture is the backbone of the economy? Because one, we cannot continue to rely on importers like you said, and the idea that many people have before is like farming is to the poor people. Poor people needs to do farming, while in advanced countries they know it's quite the opposite. Farming is not for the poor, farming is for the rich, and this kind of mentality need to change. And most of these people invested in real estate. If I told they were invested in agriculture, they would have realized more of profits than that, in agriculture than what they gaining in this real estate. Because normally within somebody paying for a land about 4 to 5 years to complete a payment of 500 and something thousand is something that you can make within the year. If at all, like we are producing like oranges, maybe planting the orange, it might take you like 5 years, but after when you started harvesting, like you'll be harvesting like every year. How many years are you going to harvest? Like mandarin, like livestock, like just a tobaski, normal tobaski, let's say normal tobaski. If at all you are ready to invest in livestock, like for sheep, right? Okay, when you have 250 rams that you are selling at let's say $10,000 is, how much are you making within that short tobaski period? So these are the kind of things that we need to consider, and not only to consider like when it comes to farming, it's only that what we need to eat, but what the animals need to eat as well. Because people might invest farming grass. You might harvest the grass and then sell it to farmers, because it's just like another
Right.
way of making, yeah, making money. Because like you cannot say you invest in livestock while you not others are not investing in the producing of like food for the animals. Then obviously the challenge would be there. But if at all other people are investing with their lands, you have people who have 100 by 100 here. If at all those people are have planting grass and trying to harvest it like every 6 weeks or so, then obviously they can deal with directly with those in the livestock and be feeding the animals. Like for Jahali Pacha with Gambia, we know we have a fresh a river. Then obviously we shouldn't be trying to importing rice for all these years. The table has now, and we need to expand that Jahali Pachat rice field. It need to be expanded. Gambia is a population of about 1.8 million, but still we rely on few importers, rice importers, whom okay, they will have the stock in the store, but they will close the store and make people to believe like there is a rice shortage, so that they can only increase the price. And we know the salary scales, mostly those working under government or even private sectors, how much are they earning? And if at all you need to buy a bag or two of rice in a month, then obviously most of the families will be dependent on those living in the West. You're working here, but still people don't realize how much you're working, because your salary cannot buy 2 bags of rice in a month. So then obviously, if at all, we didn't focus much here, then the importers will continue to suppress the people, because most of the importers, to be honest, they might obtain their nationality now as Gambians, right? But most of these, top businessmen, to be honest with you, they are not Gambians. It's not about a segregation or so, but just to show you, like, there is a difference, like, when you're doing business within your country and when you are doing business for another country, these are two different things. If you're doing business for your country, then obviously, all your investment will be within the country. But if at all you are doing business in another country for your country, then obviously you have both sides. And in developing both sides, you are relying on that single profit. If I thought I was a Gambia importing rice, then I will not consider, I mean, much of profit in that rice that I import. What I will consider is like, okay, even if I need to spend here, right? But if I thought I am importing rice and I need to, I mean, I'm from Mauritania or I'm from Guinea-Conakry or I'm from Bissau or Nigeria or so, and I'm importing rice in the Gambia, what do you expect? My family in Nigeria are saying, okay, he is investing in Gambia. They're expecting from me. So I have to jack my profit so that my hand can reach in the family in Nigeria or in Mauritania and stuff like that. So it will only make things much more expensive. But how about, I mean, those investors trying to come in, instead of they being importers, we try to encourage them to invest on the land. Then from the land, we can see how best, I mean, the market can be done in the Gambia and then outside the Gambia. But every investor that comes to the country, he's been encouraged to be an importer. So like, I mean, Gambia is to only turn to, I mean, a consumer state. And it shouldn't be that way. So investors, I mean, when they come in, we need to show them, okay, we have this plan on the pipeline. Let's see how best we can work, like, I mean, government, private, I mean, partnership, development. We can venture in that in agriculture, not only on the communication side, but it can be something that can be done in agriculture. Because most of these projects come in, if I told you, I mean, the budget is about 20 to 30 or 40 million, just know like the 15 million is already, I mean, used to buy cars. The other part of the money is for fuel, and then the rest of the money is on workshops. Then after the workshop, there is no implementation because there is no more funds. They already spent the funds on cars and like, I mean, on logistics only. So then obviously there's nothing, I mean, to be done on the ground. So these are the kind of mentalities that need to change within the society. If there is a project that comes in, car is supposed to be the last thing. After doing the project and realizing the profits, from those profits, then you can buy the cars and stuff like that. Because that's the time that you need to realize, okay, I'm living a luxurious life. But not to use the money to act as you are living a luxurious life, whilst then on the ground, nothing is on the ground. So it's always a failed project. They always say like, in Gambia, you come with a project, but it fails. Yeah, it's the implementation that always fails. We have brilliant ideas, but the moment it comes to implementation, it fails because, I mean, the way we spend the money is always an obstacle or is an opposite view of what we initiated. So these are mentality that we need to change as Gambians as well, so that, I mean, we can benefit from the agriculture. China today is China is because there's, I mean, rely most on agriculture. So that's why today China is China. If at all they, I mean, just wanted to be like consumers long before, still they are consumers. But this is what they fight. If you look for the, I mean, slavery, when they took the people, those they took, most of them, they took them to the farms. So it's only like, I mean, the way forward is always agriculture. So then we have to change, I mean, the way we are doing things, and we consider, okay, in the past, America, they did this, agriculture. China is agriculture, and today we are there. So we have to venture in agriculture and spend that we have in agriculture. If these people are producing this, we produce that also. But now you can see every, I mean, youth is either in the livestock side or they, I mean, on the poultry side. But okay, who are those, I mean, producing food for those, I mean, poultry and for the livestock? Because most of this food is imported from Senegal. And the worst thing is like the primary product of what they use to make the food is what Senegalese take from, I mean, Saro here. They take it from Gambia, take it to Senegal, add certain things, process, and then bring it back to Gambia and be selling it at a very expensive price. It's something that Gambians can make. It's something that we can do. As far as the primary product for the food is found in Gambia, then we need to sell to Senegal finished product, but not the, I mean, raw materials. These are not, I mean, things that I just wanted to send across.
Excellent. I think, Habib, you have made a wonderful point on those observations. What do you think, Baldeh, on Habib's points that he just highlighted?
Yeah, I think because of his experience in agriculture and the fact that he works in the livestock department, he knows it, feels it, and the point he brilliantly emphasized, it goes without saying that they are important. I hope the government takes it up seriously and make sure that they are something that they gather dust in the cupboards or in their filing system. The donors, like I said earlier, the goodwill support that this government, received in January 2017 should have by now yielded dividend. It couldn't have been gathering this kind of slow pace in terms of making sure that agriculture is much mechanized, like in the livestock he indicated. Look at the cost of the ram. A few years back, one wouldn't have thought a ram would have cost more than 15,000. I remember, the price started going up till now. You know, um, it will come to a time when you know several people may not be able to have a sacrificial lamb for Tabaski if they are not engaged in rearing of livestock, because the price at which the skyrocketing prices at which it is going now is astronomical and is kind of unspeakable, so to say. So what needs to be done right now is to make sure that we go away from rhetoric to implementation and make sure that, I mean, the Chinese, like Habib mentioned, who are, very instrumental in rice production, who are seen to be for far too long been engaged in this sector in the Gambia since before independence even, and after independence during the Jawara days, because the Jahali Pachar project was hacked in the 80s, and the aim was to make sure that communities around that area were food self-sufficient. And when Jammeh came to power in 2014, he realized the importance of this project. He started pumping in money to make sure that the overall drive was food self-sufficiency nationally, not only through community level. So these are some of the things that this government can do.
Right.
Make sure that those priorities are done as it should be, not things that should be gathering dust in cabinet papers and making sure that we are working on it. I think it should be wholesome. These changes should come by now because it's doable. Why not?
That's excellent. All right. So I guess we have exhausted this topic. We spent a good 20, 30 minutes on it. I hope the government is listening. We need actually to explore all this Jahal Pachal project, all the other operations that could help us cultivate rice, feed ourselves. The Gambia is blessed. Gambia has a non-salt water from what do you call it, from Farafenye all the way to all the way to what do you call it, Basse. So why not utilize this fresh water irrigation? Why not look into investment on things like that? That people, the lands are there. Let's irrigate. I remember when I was in Armitage High School, we used to see some irrigation farms there, but they were never sustainable. And of course, by Kerawan, Chambasira, and other areas, these things are, these are great places to cultivate. Not only that, our farms. What's happening to our farms? What happened to our trees? I mean, try to do deforestation and get our trees back so we can have more rain and then cultivate more. These are all things that we need to be. I mean, government need to encourage us on. So agriculture is definitely the way to go. I hope it is the government make it a priority to prioritize agriculture so that our citizens can actually invest on those and also consume healthy food. So that being said, I think we can move on to the next agenda that we have. So the next agenda would be Supreme Court's decision on Yakumba Jaiteh's case that just came out last week. As we all noted that that case was in process for a long time when President Barrow removed Yakumba Jaiteh just because of the fact that she didn't agree with him, or he feels like he's not speaking on the best interest of him. He's a nominated candidate by the president. So the argument is the constitutional conflict is that Yakumba is nominated by the president, so the president has the right to remove her from the parliament if he feels like she's not really doing what she needs to do. The case was taken to the Supreme Court, and the outcome favors Yakumba Jaiteh, saying that the president doesn't have the mandate to remove. It's a constitutional violation. And this is something that I spoke to myself, I spoke to Halifa about as being part of the parliament, that that area should have been amended to make sure that, like, if the president nominate, as long as a nominated member is part of the parliament, he shouldn't be removed by anybody, just like other members. That argument is a fact, because what had happened is, if you have the mandate to remove people after they have been part of the parliament, then you are undermining their effort to be impartial. And that is the whole idea of the parliament, for have to have an impartial body that can actually enact laws in the best interest of the country. So when I highlighted that to Halifa, he admitted that definitely, that a part of the law should have been amended so that the president wouldn't have the mandate to do so. But thank God, the Supreme Court was able to revert it. And I just want to hear the panelists, ideas and suggestions and analysis on that, and if they know more. All right, Mr. Baldeh, you can come in before Habib comes in.
Well, I think the Supreme Court judgment on the matter is a very interesting precedent. Interesting in the sense that you can see that the powers of the president, if that portion of the constitution is not amended, the powers of the president are going to be curtailed. In other words, he is not going to be powerful. And what it sets in motion is that in the future, if the president decides to nominate people, they are they are going to be very critical of him, and they will not be worried about being their nomination being revoked, because knowing full well that this motion is already once this president is already set, if another time the president happens to revoke the nomination of a non-nominated MP, the MP is going to court, and then the matter is going to, again, set another precedent. So, in a nutshell, I think the president received bad advice, from his lieutenant. From his aide. I think they should have known better. But again, this is the constitution and this is law. It is not something that you expect everyone to be okay with. Even with lawyers, there are times that you really err in certain aspects of it, because they are not perfect, just like any other profession. So, in a nutshell, it's a precedent in our fledgling democracy, for the first time that a president nomination of an MP is revoked, and the Supreme Court said otherwise. I think what Barrow was trying to follow was in Jammeh's footsteps. We have seen in the past, during Jammeh's era, how nominated MPs were like rubber stamp. They are supposed to do the president's bidding. They were supposed to be seen as promoting the president's wishes and aspirations in the National Assembly. But with Jaiteh, it was different. So, and a lot of people thought maybe the president was right, because you are not supposed to be nominated. At the same time, you become critical of the guy who nominated you, or the president who nominated you. So a lot of people were the opinion that Barrow was right, but the Supreme Court, said otherwise. So for me, that's my take.
All right, good. Habib, thank you so much for that, Mr. Baldeh. Habib, what is your take on this matter? Habib, are you there? I don't know if Habib is there. Can you hear me? Habib, can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Let's give him a minute before he comes in. But going back to what you said about the president that was set, and then you're talking about when the president wants to appoint people again, he has to think twice about the fact that these people are people that you cannot go back and trying to forcefully manipulate them. So yeah, I think this is a step in a new direction.
I think
And then
this is a.
am I hearing myself?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so I think this is
it's okay.
it's a step in good in a direction, in a positive direction, because for the first time in the history of our country, uh, such thing happen whereby the president say one thing and that the courts they go against that. I think that's a big hope. The day that I woke up, I saw that on the news. I was more than hopeful now that the new Gambia that you know Gambian people fought for is probably imagined, maybe in a different way. Maybe we are still hopeless because of the fact that some of the things have been repeated. Jammeh's time, are we still seeing them? But this was a big win for democracy. Habib, can you hear me? You seems to be mute. Can you hear me? Yeah. So Yakumba's case is definitely a precedent that will fire up. Maybe that will inspire some of the members of the National Assembly to know that they cannot be a rubber stamp anymore, National Assembly, because this involves the lives of Gambian people. You are making judgment, you are making laws that will guide people's life 20, 30 years from now. So you have to look at the best interests of the country and her citizens, not a particular person. Presidents comes and go. Okay, leadership comes and go. But if you focus your attention on what you're gonna get, your self-interest, what you're gonna get from the president, or what is it that you wanna politically you wanna gain, that is not gonna be good for our nation. So I think moving forward, or some of the National Assembly members should emulate that, to come up and speak up, and then kind of challenge things that they feel like they need to.
So
Habib, can you come in?
yeah, like I was just having a call, walking through, so like people are calling me the leaders on the phone.
Oh, people are calling you?
Okay,
We are not hearing you.
I said people were calling me, but like when I am young, I was young. I am calling me.
No, your voice is still going low.
What I'm saying is, like people were calling me because they needed my service. Are you hearing me?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I will go there.
No, we're talking about Yakumba's case. Are you following? We want your analysis on that.
No, like the new turning point for the for the country. Though the decision from the High Court, it was the same decision that I maintained. When he was fired, right? Because like it was a decision made out of arrogance. Because they were just arrogant. He said, okay, like what he said, but what he said is like very true. Bara is not it's not only Bara's mother who has a son in this country. Because that's a mistake that people made with the identity. Like, if at all he is the only son in the country. He was bold enough to do anything and everything. As if at all he is the only one who has maybe his parents. So from that statement, was the reason why he was angry. To fire her out. But Biden was the one who made the biggest mistake. And I doubt when people say like get the education that he found the office. At times these are the you don't think that somebody like Bar is sitting in them. Because there are people who are paid by taxpayers' money. But obviously, they still come with reasons, the general public is challenge the vision to make the big change. That's not the only thing that I think. They might come out and say, okay, this, and when the people say, hey, they say, okay, no, okay, let's go with the people. No, that's not the type of leadership that we want. We want a leadership, that needs to think deep before they come out with a decision. Those decisions cannot favor everybody, but at least when you're making a decision, you make something right. But this is a turning point. At least we can see, independence in the justice system. We can see that. I thought somebody challenge the executive and then the justice, I mean, rule in half favor, then obviously it's a good turning point for it. It's not like, I mean, you are being fired by the executive and then you're thinking of how to pass your back and leave the country before you are being sacked. This is the turning point. But what are they do? You need to adjust. You cannot just, I mean, working up, being part of the executive. At the same time, you need to see them as a layman, like somebody who just graduated from the civil and then using that kind of religion. You know, you just get to like, let's start what, because we are executive. Maybe, okay, I mean, he is not bad in politics. What he means is like, I mean, business, so he will go back in business. So there are certain reasons, like, what I mean, there are people who supposed, I mean, to live. When it's like he was to fire, I mean, Yakumba, Jaiteh, far no decision, right? It's also okay, like, okay, you are making a decision out of anger. Ignore your followers who are telling you to fire activity and stuff like that, and follow the rule of law. That's what that was the, I mean, vision from back. Today, I mean, the change in the justice system, the system is still on that.
You're a little bit low still.
What I'm trying to say is that, I mean, it's bad. What I mean, not only was bold enough, I mean, to train as an ally, but look, we are making a decision out of anger, but use the rule of law, make a decision. Then today, I mean, the vision of the, I mean, from the Justice Department wouldn't be a disgrace to the executive. But they made a decision out of anger because of what he said in that meeting. And today, I mean, the Minister of Justice has, I mean, moved in her favor, but it's a disgrace to the executive because they made a decision out of anger. Why they shouldn't make decision out of anger? They should think before making any decision for the country because they are there for the people. So people shouldn't fear them as their life.
Yeah, everybody is complaining about speaking up loud. I don't know, two of you, everybody's saying that, you know, like you guys are not speaking loud on the chat.
Let me come back again. What I'm trying to say is that you come from the, I mean, judiciary. It's a turning point for the country. It's not like people have been trapped and they're thinking of packing their bags and leave the country because they have been. But look, I mean, make the right decision. The Yakumba Jaiteh wouldn't be fired in the first place. But they made their decision out of anger, like people to do your deed and making a decision. Not realizing they are, I mean, having an identity, they are there to stop the people. Not the decision based on ego, but we make decision based on the rule of law. So we have a country in place. But at this now, I mean, the police, okay, they are independent and they deal without any fear or favor. It's a funny place for the country. They just need to them to that's the little rule of law. That's my tip.
Okay, all right. Habib, and I think, you know, our I don't know, for some reason your volume started to go down, and then people have our audience are really, they want to hear you guys better. And if my volume is going down, can you please tell me? But it's important that we know, like our audience hear us very clearly. Okay, all right, go ahead.
That's my contribution for it. It's a turning point for the country. It's a turning point for the country.
Okay, all right. So so that is it for Yakumba's case. I think we exhausted that as well. So we're gonna move down to 3 years versus the 5 years. As you guys know, the 5 year, I mean, the last week, the 3 years judge came, they were given permits, and then they came on the street. According to folks, they were, you know, demonstrating as prescribed by the authorities. Now, during the course of that, there were tear gas thrown on them, and then with chaos, and some people were arrested, taken to to jail and so forth. They even went and arrested Momodou, who is a journalist, where and shut down his radio station and so forth. So it has reminded me of Jammeh's era, where a dictatorship emerged, and he was just calling on people to be arrested and radio stations to be shut down, and then whatever things that he felt was not right on his own, on going on his way, he would indeed try to use his power to shut those things down. Now, yeah, Habib, you are on the ground, and then I'm pretty sure, Mr. Baldeh, you have also been focusing on this area. We know that 3 years Jotna is a pressure group to establish, to push Barrow to actually follow the coalition's agreement, which is the 3 years. The 3 years has passed now. They had met with the police, and then they have determined that they will come out and then protest again. But what was more of their ideal principle is that Barrow must step down no matter what, and then let an election take place. So during the protest, I'm not sure the details how it broke out, but what we had was that the tear gas were fired on them, and then chaos started. People, cops, were just the police were just taking people, beating them, and arresting them. And can you elaborate on that a little bit? Habib, can you elaborate on that? Then Baldeh can come. You are not being cleared again. We are not hearing you.
I said when it comes to the food, we are not just starting on the food that we are during the campaign. But there are something that they are hiding when it comes and just figure that they are trying to hide. And why on my side, I called her, I don't call him as a president, I don't call him as a president. I just asked.
Baldeh, can you hear him?
Okay, like,
No, I'm finding it difficult to hear him.
Yeah, what has changed, Habib? You were clear before.
I just don't know, but I'm just too, and I feel like I'm still talking on the person. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, like, actual fact is like the case itself. They are not telling people exactly what's going on with the case. That is why for me, every time when I address it about Adambar Appeal House, I address it as the active president. The convention where they created the period as when Dabo came and said, okay, this period is not, legitimate. The legitimacy is like the crisis, as personal term, and stuff like that. And when things went sour, Dabo came back again and said, okay, like, it's not, it's not more crisis, it's like, but you can see all those who were, part of, the solution, they were saying to you, when Dabo said, cycle, the schools were efficiently free. But when Dabo reverses this, they reverse their mission from street side. So you see, they're actually, it's correct, it's looking good. What are they looking for here? This is what we are trying to talk to. This is what we want. This is what we are looking for. Because there's a reason
Ha-
why they call Dabo Mama.
ha- ha-
Not just because he's
Habib. Are you using your headphone, or you
yeah,
are in the bus?
I'm just using this thing that
Huh? Because before you are clear, and then you are even, not only low, but you are not clear. I don't know what changed. I know you are saying something very important, so we want our audience to definitely understand.
what I'm trying to you can take from me until I get to this line.
Okay, Baldeh, you can come in, Baldeh.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you are a little low, but you can go ahead. Yeah, at least you are clearer than her,
Okay.
than him.
Okay. What about now? Is it better
Yeah,
now?
yeah, better now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The point here is, since the matter is before the courts, I wouldn't want to dilate so much on it, except that we will wait till a judgment is taken on the matter, where we can look at the implications of the case. Because if you go so much into the case, it may be considered like sub judice. So that's why I wouldn't want to actually belabor so much on it, except that it is a matter that is before the court. And the fact that, according to what we are gathering from sources, is that they were given a license. Sorry, they were given a permit. The permit was later revoked, and from the perspective of the police, it's like they were going to stray into a different area. That is why the permit was revoked. And again, from the other sources that we gather, is that they were tear gas, and then this was kind of a violation of their right. And why would it give permit to someone and later tear gas the individual and revoke the permit? So, in a nutshell, this is all what we are able to gather. The rest of it, from what we follow on the online news media about how the protest transpired, we are following it, and that is not to say that we have a full knowledge, or we have a true picture of what actually transpired in the Gambia.
Right now, Balde, what do you think about arresting journalists like Pamodi Boja? What does that remind you of? What is it that people expressing their opinions on their platforms? What would to shut them down and take them away? And piggybacking people, different media to shut them away because you don't like what they're saying. What do you think about that?
Well, I know that before this arrest, there was kind of um, a stern warning, or signals. There were mixed signals from the government about the activities of some of these community radios, that they were broadcasting news materials that were, in their perspective, not in line with um, the way the government actually wanted to see them. That So before the arrest of Pamodi, we know that the government has been given, or the information minister has been given, those mixed signals that radio stations should conform to rules and regulations, of the license that were given to them. So in a nutshell, having listened to Pamodu on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez about the kind of arrest and the fact that he reports to the police station, Bruce police station, every day, 8 o'clock, is actually, it sends kind of a cheery warning about the Jammeh era, the way government cracked down on journalists, the way government cracked down on dissent. So it's actually not a bad, it's actually a bad signal, so to speak, and this is sending a wrong message. If we are calling ourselves a democracy, why should the government be so paranoid about community radios, relaying messages from the newspapers, or speaking in the local language about what is happening, current affairs, topical current affairs issues? So it's really worrying. It's a worrying trend, and we hope that um, something positive is going to come out of it in terms of making sure that they are released and pardoned, so to speak. No charges are going to be preferred against them. So it is really worrying for our, democracy, if we really are calling ourselves an emerging democracy, from the 2016 Gambian revolution.
Right. Okay, Habib, can you hear us now?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say here, when it comes to the food, we cannot just start from the level as level like trying to achieve we should start from we should just think of giving the convention.
then Dabo came and sit outside out the field idea. And he said the person like that. The only person members of the coalition, we are opposing double speed. But then double speed is like a studio, like then he lost his ability, and then he started something for the speed. Then all the other groups members, they are there to decide. It depends on what content you depends on what then 3 years is like an acting president. I will continue addressing as president until when they came out clear because they know how the team I'm not that I mean this I was there right?
You cannot hear him,
And
right?
January 22, I was there.
Habib,
But there
I
was
don't think Habib. Sorry to cut you off. I don't think I think something wrong with your connection because nobody can hear you. Myself, and I'm pretty sure our panelists are just looking. Myself and Baldeh, we cannot hear even the dime that you're saying.
We cannot hear him.
Talk again.
How about now?
Yeah, good,
How about now? Can you hear me?
good.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to 3 years pressure group, we cannot just start it from there. We need to, go back to the convention on the drawing board if we want to solve this issue. Because Adama Barrow at the State House is an acting president. No, we have to go back there because we cannot, see, our fellows being jailed for standing against, for standing for an agreement made before elections.
Right.
Maybe there is a vision that they are coming. Okay, we go back to elections after 90 days, like when Barrow resigns and stuff like that. Maybe it's there where a problem might arise, right? Because that's not the actual agreement that they signed before going to the convention. Elections were are to be held in 2021, but Barrow was to be there until 2018, or was it? 2018, and then the actual president was sworn in. Halifa stated that in the House of Assembly, I will see how best I can get the records for that person to continue, the tenure, right? But each party is trying to own up that candidate. If the candidate is, PDYS, then you have a PDYS government. If it's UDP, that's why you can see Dabo, they call him Dabo Palm Barras, because there was a time he was dancing that tune, Barras, right? And the reason why he was dancing that tune, because, during the, yeah, I'm telling you, because, they are trying to keep a secret. There's no secret. They are working naked, but there's no secret in it. During, the National Assembly, I was campaigning for one of my mates for the PDYS because he's my mate. Like we have, been together for so long. So I decided, okay, this guy, I need to campaign for him because they didn't go independent. I need to campaign at least for him to become, a parliamentarian because I know his capabilities. So I was one of those, people driving their cars, during the campaign and stuff like that. And I frequently play that tune, Dimbaras, right? Because they want me to be, to be either be part of the UDP or the PDY or the PPP and stuff like that. So they make Dabo, okay, to dance to that tune because they think, okay, Habibou likes that tune very well. Okay, let's Dabo dance the tune, and then he will say, okay, Dabo likes it, and then they will try to be together. Because I can see, how it normally goes. They will call me for jobs, not actual because they want me to do the job. Because they know there are people who are more capable for me, capable than me when it comes to this, veterinary job. But they would rather call me just to see, okay, how to connect me with people that they think need to identify, okay, this is the guy that you are seeing on social media. So the problem for these 3 years, if at all they are people to be arrested, they need to go for Fatumata Tambaja, they need to go for Oje Jalo, Mai Fati, Henry Gomez, Ahmad Bah, Halifa Salah, Oje. These are the people, and Aisha Toure. These are the people that they need to go and arrest because they are, 8 in number. They are the confusion, not the 3 years. Pressure group. Because what the police did on that day is like, they created their first checkpoint around, and then created another checkpoint at Ice Mountain.
Like when they coming from Westfield towards Iceman, is where they created their second checkpoint. Okay, means that okay, those who come earlier, they can reach to Iceman, but those who come later, because the process is supposed to start at 12, we are blocked at Iceman. You cannot pass Iceman to meet the others at sitting corner. So you see, I mean, where the betrayals come from the security.
Wow.
It's the set of the day to you. So the tension, because for me, yeah, around 11:30 was the time that I reached at Iceman. But already by then, the tear gas were, I mean, they were firing tear gas at the people. When I came and then I started moving people, I said, let's go. When others try to fix tools, I tell them, no, you don't need this tool. Stop this tools. Let's go empty-handed because we are just going to protest. We are not here to fight. But when we came until about, 40 meters away from the security personnel, they spread again and then start to, fire tear gas at us. So some people took their stones. I tell them, no, just drop your stones. But by telling those people to drop the stones, the security personnel were, coming towards the crowd and firing more, tear gas on the people to disperse the people. So that's the time when people start to light the fire at the Westfield Junction, just at Cooperative Junction. Is the time that people started to, to light the fire. Because when, the police were saying the time is exhausted, people should disperse and stuff like that. It was already, when they were firing tear gas at the people. It's not because, the time on the permit was exhausted or it was revoked when they said so. No. They fired tear gas at people, didn't give the people the chance to assemble and stuff like that. And then later, they feel like, okay, now revoke, the license, and then while they already didn't allow people even to gather properly, to, ask for their demands. So those they arrested should be free. They should let them go. If Gambians are talking of rule of law, actually, let them go for those who, sat during the convention and came out with the 3 years MOU agreement. We all know about what the constitution stated, but there is something hidden that they try to hide when it comes to the change. The 3 years technology, they know how it changes. So then, if this, the pressure group came out, though, many are saying like, they are a branch of the UDP, which at first I normally said no, right? But then later, I feel like I need to agree upon that. Because during December 16, when I talked to Abdul guy, he detested from me, he walked away. I tried to talk to Civic CC2 as well. He was standing on the speaker pointing and I can talk to him. When I tried to approach him, when I called him and then he looked at me in the face, in my eyes, and then I told him, sorry, I need to talk to you. He disappeared. I didn't see him anymore. So then, obviously, we might not say they are directly, UDP, but at least they are trying to sell the agenda of Usainu Dabo. When Usainu Dabo said, 5 years, we still have, posts that Yakumba Dabo was making on Facebook. And when Dabo said 3 years as well, we are seeing the position that he is trying to start as at now. So then, his actual claims are not based on the 3 years. He is trying to, to defend the opinion of Dabo. Because when, things were so nice, the Februay protest was illegal. Like what my party quoted during the Canela protest. It's either you obey the law or you consume by the, or be consumed by the law. So if I told my party can stand today and say these 3 years protesters should be free, then obviously it's hypocritical. Because Foni is part of Gambia. No matter what, you cannot take the people of Foni out of. And if you want to isolate them, you might create rebellion. We've seen the protest in Faraba. Still, investigation, nobody knows the judgment that came out of it. So, what the police need to understand is they are here to serve the citizens, not only to serve the political allies. So, if at all they arrest the youth for protesting on a 3 years agenda, then the people that they need to arrest is those who channel or pipeline the 3 years MOU. Those are the people who are to be arrested, taken to court, and then they justify exactly what they mean about this 3 years.
Okay.
That's my take. Well, police
Okay.
are the people who break law. Okay, but this registration, let me come on there. Okay, you might see, it's something undemocratic. You cannot shut down the media. Normal, it's not the panelists are not the problem. But if you have to take, the one genocide as a reference, then you will know, those the panelists are not to be, as productive. But before, there are certain, when people make calls in certain kind of program, if you have to entertain those kind of, conversations on radio station, let me tell you, don't doubt it, you will have another Rwandan genocide here. And that's very true, because people, governments are very good.
Right.
Gambians don't want to tolerate APRC. Gambians don't want to tolerate UDP. Gambians don't want to tolerate PDY. They don't want to tolerate PPP. They don't want to tolerate DMC. What party do Gambians want to tolerate? Because as far as when it comes to my, you're talking about my party, a good thing about my party, I would agree with you. But if you try to, tell me, Habib, watch your back, I see you as an enemy. That will not move the country. We Gambians trying to, tell people to respect opinions. What is the most difficult thing that we have to attain as of now? Because people don't want to respect opinions. All they want is like, whatever I say, you say, yes, sir, I agree with you, you are right. But the moment I will try to challenge you or try to quote from what you said, said before, you need to counterattack. That's the point of what it is. If you listen to people when they're talking about APS on the radio, or like when people are talking about unity in radio and stuff like that, then obviously you will see, the best way to help people to start respect opinions is by showing them a sign. Look, if you people don't focus, we will close the station. Then people will start to focus and know, okay, like we have a reason to go. The party is going for a rally. Consider the business side of it. How many pizzas are printed? How many assobis are sold? How many cars are hired? Those cars, how many petrol are they consuming? Then obviously you will see, you will not distract parties that are heading to for any rally. You will not distract them. You will not delay their when they the party
Okay.
thinking like if the parties go out for rally, they are to make crowd, not realizing the president is using his position and going on a meet farmer store and using as a political campaign ground. It's totally wrong. So if at all the president can do it really, why not the opposition parties be doing it really? If at all we are talking of to have free and fair elections, if at all the president can go around to meet the farmers as a political campaign show, opposition parties can do that really. To go around and meet the voters and ask them exactly what they need and then how best they can solve their issue. That's how we can move. But we cannot build the country based on one party. And the actual fact is, Adama Barrow cannot accept the independence of the position in the MOU. He cannot accept to resign from his party to be the flag bearer of the coalition and at the same time quote from the constitution as the president has satisfied you. It's total hypocrisy. This one Gambians have to understand. He cannot agree to independence, resign from his party, at the same time want to go for 5 years, while the MOU for that position that he is serving was agreed on a 3 years mandate. We have to respect that and respect the Gambian people and step down. This is not about UDP or PIS or PPP or stuff like that. But the hypocrisy and the double standard have to stop. Gambia came for a transition of 2 years, we transform him and he is here for 2 years.
Okay.
What happened in November 11, a signal was sent in Kanila. Another signal was sent in Faraba, and this is the third signal.
Yeah. All right.
So if we don't act now as a nation, I will not be among those who will drive my fingers.
Okay. All right, Habib.
Well,
Yeah, thank you so much. In the interest of time, we're gonna try to wrap up now. Habib, you mentioned very important things here. The fact that the 3 years judge now. This guy who is arrested, Youngs Dabo, his stand was initially with lawyer Dabo, and now when lawyer Dabo his stand, he's also stand. He shifted his stand on 3 years. But as far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, they are they shouldn't be arrested based on this. I think that is reminding us again about Jammeh era, having to arrest people who come out to protest, despite the clash that happened between them. The permit was revoked, and then the tear gases were sprayed and so forth. I think this new dispensation should just let these people be free, and then just tell them, just like correct the situation, because this 3 years judge now, they have the rights to come out and then show, they express their feelings, and they have the right to press on President Barrow, because I mean he actually violated the MOU. I mean he cannot get a free pass like that. People have to hold our leaders accountable. If you say that 3 years, people have the right to come out and challenge you on that. They're not gonna probably have to violate the laws by forcefully removing you, but they will have the right to come out, and then if you cannot stand the heat, get out of the from the kitchen. That's the saying that is always the case. If you cannot start criticism, you don't want to stand the pressure from the people, you shouldn't be in that office. So basically, the 3 years judgment pressure is not a crime. It's just a reminder that we have to be accountable for our words. It's just a reminder that next time somebody want to do that kind of thing, they have to be pressured. They have to know that they have to go through hell. And then Barrow is no exception. So I think their act is not a violation of anything, and then these people should be free. Whoever is arrested should be let go, and then and then probably start the negotiation again. And the fact that they're gonna be pounding on Barrow for the next for the remaining years is also their rights, because again, if you tell me something and you want to change, I'll keep pounding on you, telling you, complaining, just so that I will show my discontent. It's just a basic thing. Even in Islam, words are powerful. You cannot just say something and then twist around trying to use constitution or so forth. We know constitution is there, but you have the right also to resign anytime. The constitution say that. So it's the moral aspect here that is actually the thing. Nobody's trying to take a gun and take anybody out. But what we're trying to say is that the moral aspect, that's what people should be pushing for, to pressure the president to actually honor. If he doesn't, then it's gonna be on him. So I think they should let Janks and others to come out and then have their freedom, and then go continue with their business. Another thing is the journalist arrest. Like I said, since we are in New Gambia, we dreamt, and we have our democracy here. I don't think anybody should be stopped from expressing themselves. You might think they're expressing themselves in a way that favors one group over the other, but you have to also understand that people have their opinions. As long as they are not inciting anything that will cause terror, let them express their feeling. They are whatever group they agree with. I mean, this is just the fact. So I hope this doesn't, our law enforcement folks, our leaders would consider this, and then let us express our feelings, and at the same time agree to disagree. I think that's the way forward. Do you have anything, Mr. Baldeh, to contribute before we close?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for inviting me to the New Gambia platform. I am very pleased with the fact that you identified me among many lots, of people. My battery is running down, unfortunately, so this is why I say bye till we meet another time, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Baldeh. And Mr. Habib, again, thank you for your contribution as always. Any last word? Yeah, we cannot hear you again. All right, our viewers, so we came to the end of this show. We want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch up in 2 weeks. Again, this is an impartial platform, a civic education platform that you can learn from. All right, I am your host, Momodou Sawaneh. Thank you.